Alright guys, good morning. What I'm gonna do for you here is do how to install a grill and new headlight housings. So here's the tools we need. We need a flathead. I've got the pair of pliers here just in case. The flathead is for the little pop rivets. The pliers are if they are stubborn and I can't get them with just the flathead. We need an 8 and a 10 millimeter socket. This is just my 1/4 inch rack here. We're just going to use the 8 and a 10 millimeter. Here's the 1/4 inch ratchet. And then this is for popping the headlights out of place. I got a spatula, and this is actually a George Foreman grill scraper thing. I chose those because they're plastic, and if I slip, I hopefully won't jack the paint up so much. Go in here. So we've got the I ordered both of these things off of Protuninglab. They're the Euro style headlights with the blacked out housings, and then the grill, same thing, Protuninglab. It's the all black ABS plastic grill is what it's called. So I don't know. So we'll see how this turns out. So first things first, pop the hood. Yeah, I've got to pop the hood on this. There we go. Go around here, find the latch. So these are the little pop rivets. The first thing we have to do is take off this panel that covers the radiator, because the screws that hold the grill in place are underneath this panel. Ooh man, it's a little cold this morning. As you can see, we got a little bit of snow last night. So yeah, let's get started on that. They're pretty good, it seems. So I'm gonna try to be careful not to break anything. Miraculously, that came up without breaking. That one came off nice and easy. Huh. Some of these don't even need the tool. Alright, well, I stand corrected. So far, all I'm doing is pulling up on the whole panel. It sort of keeps the force distributed evenly. If I do this, you're kind of lifting up on one side, and these things tend to snap. So even though in the instructional videos it says to use a tool, it's actually benefiting us just to lift up carefully. Alright, so this fender is showing a little bit of flex, and obviously I'm not trying to flex my fender out, so we're just gonna be real careful here. Okay, relatively unscathed. Everything's in one piece still. Awesome. So we'll lift this bad boy out of here. Set that aside for later. Okay. So, looks like we've got 10s here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll get the 10 millimeter socket. Whoops. It went flying over here. Make sure it's on loosen, not tighten. And we'll start undoing these bad boys. Even if I weren't installing a grill today, this is still part of the headlight process, because in order to get to the headlight screws, you've got to take off the grill. And you'll have to forgive my monkey-handed maneuverings here. It's kind of cold. Okay, so these two are different. So I'm actually going to line these up as they're going to go back in the truck from left to right. So this is the leftmost one, the second one. Here's the third one. Again, some of you guys might just have a knack for remembering where things go. I do not. And so I like to make my job as easy as humanly possible for reassembly. because I'll be the first guy to put something back in the wrong spot. Now, once we get this last screw out, I'm told that there are 2 clips along the bottom of the grill that sort of hold it in place down there, even though they're not actual screws. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna set the ratchet aside so I don't drop it on my bumper or something of that nature. All right, so, well, it's supposed to be clipped in, but it wasn't. So, I guess that makes my job a little easier today. Let's see. All right, so I can kind of see how that one works. I think you just pull straight out, so we're gonna just kind of go for it here. Yep. Okay, so this is the part that I always wish people showed more. So there's a hole right there, and that's what this piece pops into. And now once this pops in, this piece here sort of snaps and grabs on there. This is what was off on the other side. And of course I'm getting a phone call now. That little black clip pops in there, and it's supposed to snap over here. So when I put my new grill on, I will be making sure that it is attached on both sides. So the next thing is these 2. These are also 10mm. Actually, I'm staying corrected. It's these 2. This one and this one. Okay, so let me back out and make sure you can see it. We're going to do this one and that one right here. Don't do that. Okay, and just for later reference, the hole to adjust the height of your headlight, the light beam angle, the hole for that is right here. And if you look down, it's an Allen head. Well, I don't know, it's a small socket, or on the inside of the screw or, adjustment device, it's actually kind of like a star bit. So I don't know what size star bit it is. I can try to figure that out for you guys and include that in. Okay, so the last part of this, apparently, if I pop this off, there's there's a clip in there that of course I cannot see whatsoever because my fucking wheel is in the way. So we're gonna turn my wheels all the way to the right. What I'm gonna try first is taking a picture of it. Make sure the flash is on. And then once I get the picture, oops. Alright, so my little clip came out. Now we're gonna put that there. Okay, so that, okay, hang on, let me take a picture of it first. That actually worked really well. Okay, so there's a clip there. This white clip is supposed to do something. It looks like there's a tab, so we're gonna have to push this white plastic piece up. Okay, and then that way it'll loosen it up. Now, alright, so with the GoPro off my head, I can actually sort of see what the hell I'm doing here. Okay, I got that piece up. So we'll see how easy it is to remove now that that piece is out. And before I start ripping on stuff, since it is plastic and it is freezing out here, plastic is fragile in the cold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of it now, and whoops, turn the camera the wrong way there. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to take a picture of it now, and then we'll be able to compare. Okay, so now with it up, you can see that that piece will slide right out. So anyways, I'll probably include these two pictures in the video afterward, because this is pretty much a joke trying to show you guys right now. In the how-to that I saw, this is where somebody used sort of a tool here to pry against the fender. Of course, it's always easier said than done. Alright, let's see if we can get this bitch out of here. Come on, baby. Okay. Okay. So she's out. Next thing to do is take that out. Come on. Counterclockwise. Pop the bulb out. Counterclockwise, pop the bulb out, and pop that out. Okay, so those two pieces are now free. Okay. There's 3 little notches. So this is going to be hard with one person without scratching everything up to be damned. As Ace Ventura would say, like a glove. Okay. Luckily they make these pretty dumb proof. You can only put them in one way. Alright, so now it's just a matter of sliding her back into place. Okay, so there's that clip from the outside. You can see how it would go up and down. I'd show you here, but I'm more interested in getting this thing back in place here, so let's just do that for now. Okay, pop that in. Okay, put the screws back on. Let's get these in so it can at least be sitting in the proper position. Tighten this up. You don't want to crank down these. They're not going to go anywhere, and everything that it screws into is plastic, so if you're trying to break something, that's probably the easiest way to do it. Okay. Now for the fun part is to get this stupid clip back down. And again, I'm in the interest of seeing what I'm doing, I'm going to have to take you guys off for a second. Actually, now that I know what it feels like, it's actually probably going to be easier for me to do this with my finger. Got it. Yeah, that clip is actually pretty easy to move. So alright, so now I'll put this flat back down without snapping it, hopefully. It's kind of nice they did this, because it's a much bigger pain in the ass to have to remove the whole inner fender lining. So now we're going to take this side off. Pro tip: if it's already cold outside, don't rest your metal ratchet in the snow, because it is now freezing. Okay, well, there's an issue. There's no screw in the bottom, so someone's been in here at some point for something. I know on the Carfax when I bought this, it did say that it was in a front end wreck on one of the sides. I don't know which one, but some genius obviously forgot to put the screw back in. I know that's a very difficult task for some people, but that's alright. Now that I know what I'm doing, I don't really need to see in there, and since I've already showed you guys on one side. Oh, good, and there's no clip. That's wonderful. So whatever genius worked on this truck before I got a hold of it, obviously is a genius, like I said. So this is why I hate letting other people work on my shit, because they fuck it up, because they just don't care. Alright, so reverse what we just did. Oh, this comes with a little piece of paper in it. Some dust in there, I was just blowing out. sure it was clear. So now we pop this bad boy into place here. Triple check, make sure you're not pinching any of the wiring harness. I think it's all pretty well laid out so that you're not really getting in the way of anything. Alright guys, so as you heard me mention earlier, the car was in an accident before I owned it, based on the Carfax, and I'm definitely sure it was on this side now. I already put the driver's side in, so I don't have anything to compare, but all the frame looks good. But what I'm thinking is, when I tried to put in the passenger side headlight here, there's this little metal pin that's supposed to kind of pop into this hole, but it's not reaching this hole. So at first I tried to, there's a screw back here, I tried to undo that, but that's really not going to help anything. So I'm going to retighten that first, actually. And then second, whoops, I don't know what that does. Second, I noticed, to get it to reach further back, that metal pin right here, it actually has a Phillips head screw type thing in there. So what I did was I unscrewed it, and it gave me about, I don't know, 1/4 inch more length. So what I'm hoping is that with that extra length, it'll be able to reach to that white plastic hole there and pop into place. I'd rather not have a loose headlight. I hate that when I'm driving on the road and I see someone's headlights in front of me and they're all kind of shimmery because they're bouncing up and down so fast. They're like vibrating, I guess. It's so minor that I'm hoping this little adjustment will do the trick. And we're going to assume it is, just based on face value. So I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff back in. Alright, here goes nothing. Don't do me wrong here. I feel resistance, which is good. I just need to make them line up now. Which is all by feel because I can't see anything. There we go. Did it go in? Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's in place. I just think it's lost its clippiness, or its ability to grab during whatever incident it was involved in. So, but the fact that it's in the hole is better than nothing, so I'm gonna accept that. Alright, and like I said earlier, I'm going to use one of the fender screws down here because I can replace these easy off on the grill. I'm sorry, not a fender screw. The one that keeps the grill in place I'm going to use down here for the headlight because they're the same screws, it turns out. Alright. Pop that back in place. I'm not worrying about the white clip in there because although that whole mechanism is sort of pushed off balance, or pushed out of place just enough that I don't think I'm going to be able to get to it. So, with that said, let's get the grill back on. Alright, so this might also explain why this wasn't clipped in on this side before. Looking at the back of this, it looks like it doesn't have the hardware for it to snap in place properly. I guess we'll see. That clipped. Well, we're just going to tighten it down and see if that's all it requires. since that one clipped, I'm gonna put this screw over here. And honestly, you know what? I'm gonna probably look at my hardware box and see if I can get another screw, because the last thing I want or need is my girl flying out or flapping around, or, you know, participating in any of those unwanted activities. Alright, so even though there's no screw there, man, I don't like the way that's loose. Alright, I'm gonna go check my hardware bin here. Let's see what we got. Son of a bitch. Why did I do that? Hey, you know what? I might have just lucked out. This actually came from a neon. Check that out. So, since it's... oh, there we go. There we go. Now we put this back in place. Even though, realistically, it's pointless. Part of me wants to leave it off, because it doesn't really do anything, except for try to cover up some of the aesthetics, but honestly, it's a truck bed. Who cares? There we go. Everything else is in place, everything's tight, no more screws on any of my fenders, which means everything's back. Let's shut the hood and see what it looks like. Oh, awesome. Didn't work at all. There we go. Alright. Well, I like it a lot. Well, thanks for watching the video. We had to think on our toes there for a couple minor issues, but nothing that kept us down at the end of the day. So that's all you can really hope for when working on a car, right? So anyways, thanks again, fellas. Appreciate it. And ladies. And see you later.